Um,
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's going to take a few minutes for the announcements to go out and for people to get here, but I want to welcome back Elspeth, the painting healer. I always put it the other way around, the healing painter, but you're both healing painter and painting healer.
well, I like to say the painting healer because the healing painter just sounds like a grieving artist who is
That's true.
well,
There is a difference in moving the words, and that does show you the power of the word. Yeah,
but the
yeah,
painting healer just has a bit more action to it, and
it
it's sort of
does. It's
yeah,
more soothing. Yeah,
yeah, a bit more
yeah.
positive.
Uh-huh. Even though we all welcome healing, all of us do. But yes, it isn't because of an addiction or a problem that you became a painter. So that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So yes, so I don't know how many people are going to show up today, but I do know that this will be certainly streamed later on to people that are not here. And I want you to begin so that they can know by explaining what exactly your technique is and what it is you do, and then we'll move into the subject of our topic today.
Great. I'll do a little
Yeah.
show and tell because I have some paintings
Okay.
right behind me. So
Yeah.
I'm an artist,
Mhm.
but I'm also very in tune with my psychic side as well. I have
Mhm.
clairvoyance, clairaudience, mediumship. It's like all channels open.
Good.
And especially when I have an encounter with the page and I start painting, it's just accessible to me. So what I do, I've over lots and lots of experience, I've come up with my own little structure. And so my preferred way of doing it, because everyone can be like a momentary medium, but what I like to do is to give it structure. So the spirit world knows when I'm setting an appointment and they'll
Right.
show up at that time. And this way it's good to have some boundaries. So it's not like
Uh-huh.
24-hour urgent clinic. Although you never know when you're going to get some downloads. But for me, it happens to be when I'm brushing my teeth a lot. But mainly, I set appointments. So if I have a client, I will make that time and I will set aside, I'll clear the space, light the candles, and I go into meditation, keeping the topic or the question in mind for that person. And then when I feel like I've got all the information, I've seen all the visuals, heard everything, felt everything, got all the components I need, then I start painting. And that's when I deliver the reading and I start talking while I paint. And
Yes.
that's what I'm going to do today.
That's
And
awesome.
I asked you to choose the person of interest, and you chose Steve Irwin.
Uh-huh.
And so I did a meditation before we went live today, and I got all the information I needed, and I'm ready to go. And I'm going to give you a
Yeah.
couple of examples of paintings that I just finished.
Yeah. Wait till you see these, everybody. Oh my goodness. She's
So
so talented.
I'm going to start with the most basic one. This is a sketch. And so what I offer through my website is a psychic sketch where you can get like a 40-minute reading and you get a sketch which arrives in the mail as
Mhm.
well. It's
I
something
got one.
to put on your wall, hold in your hand,
Mhm.
and also a video to watch of the reading. You get to see me painting and talking to you. And then I also have other options. This is a psychic painting, so you can see there's more detail there.
Yeah.
So this one, this is utilizing my animal communication skills, where I tune into the energy of this beautiful dog that passed a few years ago.
You got the eyes so perfectly. They're beautiful.
Eyes are
They're,
my
yeah,
very favorite. I mean, they really are the windows to the
they
soul.
are. What a beautiful, beautiful set of eyes.
This is slightly larger. They get larger. I even have paintings hanging up that are 6 feet tall. There's
Oh
one with
my.
a
Oh,
body of water, and it looks like you could just jump into it.
I know that one. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here is one I just completed the other day, and this was just a study of the water, which, you know, a lot of these are psychic paintings, but this one was just a meditation on water. So this one you can just buy on my website just as is. There's no reading that comes with it. It's just a painting that will teleport you every time you look at it to a
You know, I love it, and I know that it is. It puts me in mind of Monet. It puts me in mind of Monet, but at the same time, I have to chuckle because the green in the water reminds me of something else that's going on. But it's not that your picture isn't beautiful. It's just that it's almost like you were channeling through that energy.
Well,
as well.
I did paint that this week while that natural occurrence is happening. But I can tell you the water that I was painting is of a natural body of water here at Lake Michigan.
Beautiful.
The Detroit River, actually. And the water is very clear and very healthy. But yes, it's an interesting.
Water is one of my favorite things, pictures to see. It really is. There's so much on the glinting of the sun or the sunset or just the different colors as you have expressed in the picture. I love it. It's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got some people here today who are saying yes on Monet. I've got a couple people here. Anna Heaton is from the Netherlands, which is great. And some people have already subscribed to your channel. So how about that? That's great.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. Oh, she's fabulous, everybody, as if you can't tell, but yeah. So, yeah, so Elspeth got to get herself ready to paint Steve Irwin's picture. And I'm going to go over a little bit about Steve Irwin and what my reading showed me at first, and then I'm going to pull cards while she's doing it. But I'll let you get ready to do what you need to do, because I know you have to move and everything. All right.
And
so everybody, if you don't know who Steve Irwin was, he was the crocodile hunter. And I picked it specifically because, my kids watched him all the time. I love his son's Dancing with the Stars. He was fabulous. His sister Bindi is just as fabulous, as is Terry, his wife. And, you know, my kids used to always watch him when they were younger, and all the expressions he made, you know, beautiful scales. He would say all these funny things, and my kids would really enjoy it. So he died an untimely death. He got stung by a stingray underneath the water, and there wasn't anything that man wouldn't try. So I know Steve Irwin was wonderful. Oh, Kathy, you found it through Cash Peters. Well, good. I'm glad you did. I know that she did that video that she did with Cash Peters was fabulous. So I pulled a couple of cards on Steve Irwin to begin. And then Elspeth's going to talk her way through hers, and I'm going to interject some cards at that time. So the first one I got was an investigation card that this was a crime of opportunity. And unfortunately, the criminal was the stingray. But Steve did put himself into situations where he wasn't safe all the time. Many people thought sometimes that he wasn't careful enough. But this was his personality, and it was such a big, big, big personality. When he came up, he wanted to give kisses to everybody. He just loves his fans, and he loves his family. And I get the sense that he knows he met such an untimely death, and he feels bad about it. But he said that it was a targeted strike by the stingray, and he could not get out of the way of it in time. And so he wants to make sure that we know that he wasn't trying to be, it was just a fluke. It was either that or a manta ray. Now I'm not sure. It's either one. He says, I may be invisible, although you can see him a lot in reruns. But he said, just because my body isn't there doesn't mean I'm not there, because I'm right there all the time, especially with my family. He is the proudest of his family that you could ever imagine. His wife, Terry, never remarried. She sacrificed herself for the children by being the sole and primary person that took care of them. The next one I get is she went through all the stress. She went through the stress when he was alive, when he was doing what he was doing. And she went through all the stress bringing those kids up alone. and that she feels bad because Robert, his son, Bob, his innocence was lost early because his father passed so quickly. So he's recognizing Bob. He says many times Bindi turns inward and absolutely adores, he adores that. But he said it was the completion of his time on the earth. It was time for him to move along. And that last puzzle piece was that situation that he found himself in. So I'm going to let Elspeth do the talking. And as she does, I'm going to pull cards, but I won't interrupt her because I want her to give her representation. All right.
Well, thank you. That can you hear and see me all right?
I can. And it's the correct way. Yeah.
Well, fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So I love what you've said so far. I'm going to elaborate on some of the things that I saw and felt. So
Sure.
I saw him I saw him like on many productions, but in present time, and that the message there was that he has not stopped working. He's omnipresent. He's right there with his family.
Mm-hmm.
He's always in his wife's ear and his kids' ear. He's constantly in communication with them, but that he's very interested in anyone that is continuing on his mission, which was to he was a teacher in his own right. He wanted to not just bring awareness, but light and enthusiasm and an excitement. He was deeply in tune with the land and the spirit of the animals. He had an animal spirit, you could say, of his own, because he had that buoyancy and that sort of daredevil demeanor that, you know, just like animals, they're so in the present moment. And his death was part of his part of the over it was part of the story as well. It was as important as his life, because there was also an important reminder that nature is to be respected. It's not to be feared, but it is to be respected. Not to say that he wasn't being respectful, but even him, who was unafraid, was not above the natural laws. And that ultimately nature is so powerful. If you think of a thunderstorm or a shark, well, in this case, it was a stingray, but that there was a certain tipping point where the audiences had totally embraced his message, but now we're becoming a little bit numb to the danger. And humans are so sort of domineering, and being the only species that destroys their own habitat, it was an important reminder that his death was just as meaningful as his life. He was the real Crocodile Dundee, and he totally embodied that. But it was spiritual for him too. But there was something very practical in commercializing it, and that's where Terry was important. They were amazing partners in that way. She was able to help him in ways that he felt that he lacked. He feels like there was something about his personality that gave him an advantage. Like, he never let his schooling get in the way of his education, and his personality was able to express and teach to people that wouldn't have listened otherwise. His personality was so important in renewing an interest. I mean, Crocodile Dundee was 20 years prior to
Mhm.
Steve Irwin. And
Yeah.
so it was a new generation. But there was, I mean, part of the tragedy, but it was not without importance, because it's like he had to lull people into a false sense of comfort by making this like Disneyland, with a powerful reminder that, you know, nature is to be protected, celebrated, but also respected, because we get too big for our britches. We get emboldened. And yeah, he
Mhm.
was doing stunts. I remember he was like holding babies and letting the crocodiles jump, and he was trying to prove a point that crocodiles aren't as, you know, unfriendly as he was bending the narrative for all sorts of cliches that I guess in some ways he was course correcting from the wreckage of Crocodile Dundee, while also embracing it and benefiting from it. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you know, it was a humbling moment. Also, his it's like he had a spiritual contract with his family that he was a brave soul, and a parting gift which was not easy to give, and any less of a it, it took his strength of character to be able to deliver this karmic gift of sorts, which was a very difficult one, but it it was generous in that he was part of growing their souls, and that leaving them fatherless, even though he understood that he would never be far away, he's always by their side energetically. But this experience of living without him was important for them in growing their courage and their resilience, and that this was a very difficult agreement to partake in, but it was a spiritual agreement that they had made before coming to the earth. So, yeah, that's what I got. I saw Jane Goodall. I see that he is still, like, he's at the leading edge of all advancements to do with, oh, are you still there? What happened?
I'm here. I just removed myself so they could see your picture clearer. So I'm
Oh,
listening. I'm listening. You just can't see me. Yeah.
oh, okay.
All right.
I don't want to keep waffling on if it's just me. Uh, um, yeah, so that was pretty much the reading, and that he continues his work. He's still like at the leading edge of every new technology and bringing awareness and enlightenment and intelligence about how connected we all are. Um, he's very much engaged and collaborating with anyone who cares to take on that baton, just like any specialist that is in spirit form. They take great interest in what we're doing. And he really throws his support behind advocates of the new world that we're creating together. And
That's true. That's very true. Diana's saying he already looks alive in the painting.
well,
Yeah, you
that's
can see
because,
it. I mean,
yeah,
everybody's
right
watching
here.
and they can see it. It's lovely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's something of the essence that comes through
it does.
when I paint. And, you know, this is because I feel their energy. I feel like they're sitting right here with me. I feel like I'm doing my best to communicate. But there was something very moving about, you know, the the time that I spent with him in meditation. It just, he felt very yeah, like humbled, like
Awesome.
he was honored to have had the life that he had. And I saw him as a much younger boy, and you know, there's like a scrappiness to his energy where it feels like he inherited the world, that he
Yeah.
his love and appreciation is what generated all of his good luck, and his currency and was love. He had
Hmm.
so much love and appreciation, and that's what powered his life
Yeah.
and ultimately accelerated to his death, but which was part of it as well. He
Yeah.
doesn't he doesn't have regrets.
That's
He,
good.
you know,
That's good. I recently saw a short video somewhere, and that's what made me think of him. And it was Bindi holding Bob when he was born,
oh,
the little baby. And so Steve says, you know, his name is Robert. And she says, okay, I think I'll call him Brian or something like that. And so he said, no, this is Robert. You won't call him Brian. It was so cute. But she just is like a little carbon copy of her mom. And I think his son, Bob, what a testament to strength that kid is. I mean, he's not a kid, he's in his early 20s, but he reminds me so much of his dad in so many different ways. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's fabulous. Did you
beautiful.
grow up watching him as well when you lived in Australia?
No, not at
Yeah.
all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. You know, in fact, I think I was a bit averse to it because, you know, it looked a little bit sort of like touristy and like playing with
Uh-huh.
the camera.
Uh-huh.
And
Sure.
my childhood was kind of, I feel like I had my dad was kind of like uh, Crocodile Dundee, actually. I got to experience the wild and,
In your own way. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, in my childhood we spent time in Aboriginal communities, and we actually did get to go bush, and you know, we hunted for our food a couple of times. And so
Uh-huh.
I kind of looked at Steve Irwin as like, you know, just playing for the tourists. um but I
Yeah.
think, you know, with his passing, and also I was like in my early 20s at the height of his fame.
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I wasn't his audience. I know
Mhm.
kids were, but I mean, I loved, yeah, I think that me and Steve probably both took a lot of inspiration from Crocodile Dundee. Just that spirit, that adventurous spirit.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I
Which
think,
it seems to embody, and I know it's speaking in its generalities, and I don't mean to do that, but when you haven't been to Australia and you see what comes out of Australia, part of that is this freedom, this spirit that just seems to um, embody your people in Australia, dependent upon um, the wildness of where you're living and how it all started, how Australia all started really for the white man when he came down there as a penal colony, you know. And I know that your focus was more Aboriginal for the original inhabitants, but yeah, Crocodile Dundee loved that, and um, it just, yeah.
I think, I mean, my version of Steve Irwin was probably more David Attenborough.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the one to watch when I was growing
When you
up.
were younger. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Oh, that's so good, Elspeth. It's just such a good picture of him.
thank you.
Wow.
I think I might leave it here just to keep it fresh, you know, like
Yeah.
his mid
Yeah.
chuckle or mid laugh. But you know,
Uh-huh.
sometimes I think it can take someone dying to give their life that weight of meaning and purpose. I remember
Right.
Heath Ledger passed. I think some people thought he was a bit of a joke or lucky or just handsome, or, you know, but
Uh-huh.
past it really, like you don't know what you're missing till they're gone, and then you
Yeah.
have much more appreciation.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna meet you on the other side just a moment.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. I just want everybody to know if she had done my painting a couple months ago, or early May, I think it was, and it was fabulous. Her reading for me was fabulous. She did it in real time, and messages from my dad came through, and some of you watched that, I think. And she has a website that you can go on, and if you have you would give a picture of yourself to her. She can do the same for you, or another person, or an animal, or whatever. And she's got a lot of other videos that she's done. She's done one on Nancy Guthrie, and she's done one. I mean, you can tell them some of the ones that you have already done, if they're interested.
I've done one on a mini series on Lynette Hooker.
Okay.
And that mystery, and a mini series on Nancy Guthrie.
Uh-huh.
Just the other week I did one on David Hockney, who just passed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so weird because I was just thinking of him the day before, because I actually have a small book illustrated by him.
Oh, okay.
And, so I did like Ono. I just love.
Yes, you did Oko. Yoko. I mean, yeah.
I love exploring different energies. And
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done political ones. I'll do them again.
I'm sure. Right. They don't always feel as lovely as say Steve Irwin's did. You know, that the energy is, I'm sure, very different when you're doing some of those people. Yeah.
So true.
Tani is here from Australia. Tani, I believe, is Aboriginal. Oh. And so she's saying hello. Make sure you go over to Elspeth's channel, Tani, if you haven't already, at The Painting Healer.
Yeah.
She's fabulous. She lives in the United States now, but she is from Australia. Yeah. So as you were talking about Steve Irwin, I asked him to give us a message that he wants to say to everybody, because the first reading I did seemed to be more of explanatory, like this is what happened, this is why it happened, I miss my family. So the first thing he says is he was okay once he learned how to let go.
Aww.
And letting go is a balance between wishing you were back with them on the other side, and then actually being with them, just in a different form. So I feel like that even though he made the contract, as you said, it was a contract they all made as a family. And I totally agree with that. I think it worked the way it was supposed to work. That doesn't mean it didn't make him sad, because he didn't really. I think Bob was 2 or 3. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. And Bindi was, I think, early teen or something like that. She was old enough to remember him, though.
Oh, I feel like she was a kid. I feel like she was about.
Oh, really? Like 8 or 9, maybe, instead?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Too early.
I also got a parting message at the end as well. And mine was that, like, we are all teachers. We are all part of the same. I got a vision of it was actually, what are those spiky things at the bottom of the ocean?
I know what you're saying. They're like, if you step on it, you can hurt your feet. Yes, like a spiny something or other. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We're all like the different spines on a sea urchin. We feel like we're independent, but we're all connected at our root. And as he was a teacher in his own way, and he was unorthodox, but he was able to reach certain people and to bring the same message to. It's the same message that needs to be repeated. It's about taking care of yourself, taking care of each other. And that even if your group is only 5 people, if it's your immediate friends and family, or if you have an audience of many, they're your people. And
they are your people. Yeah.
That's our responsibility, is whether it's sharing our enthusiasm for something, all teaching.
Absolutely. And actually, we are all teachers. Some informal and some formal, but we're all teachers and we're all students. And I love that, to have curiosity about our world. That is the important thing. So Tony says it's a sea urchin that you're thinking of. And little Robert was 2 years old and Bindi was 8. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, so I got the letting go part, but also he says you got to learn how to go with the flow. And he said no one learned that more than Terry. But Terry also really dedicated herself to those children. That was her primary purpose, even though some of her other things that she did had to deal with the animals. Don't they have? I believe they have like a park or a kingdom or someplace like that they take care of the animals. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Hmm. He also says, the transformation that happens when you get to the other side is all encompassing. The ability that you have to see the bigger picture is amazing. And he also, when you were talking about um, some of the things he did, he's almost apologizing. He says, I don't want you to think it was from ego. He said it probably looked that way some of the time, but he said, if you'll notice my humor, you'll know that I was, not that serious about myself. I was serious about what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then he says, everybody has to take what their creativity is and employ it, how important it is, how we, even if that's just playing dominoes,
Yeah.
or if it's listening to music or making music or painting simple paintings yourself. You don't have to be a particular artist, but you should follow your creative pursuits because they are tied very closely to your spiritual life.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Wow. So Tawny says she remembers going there in 2015 to their park. She's seen Bindi and her son was in love with her, but he was a young boy then. That's cute. Sure, she was a beautiful young lady. I know. The interesting thing was that Terry was American and had met um, not Robert, met Steve while on vacation.
Oh,
And then Bindi's husband was an American on vacation and met Bindi. And so Robert was saying, I need to find my American because he was trying to keep the he's very, very funny, much like his dad. He has a beautiful sense of humor, but he's also, from what I saw when he was in Dancing in the Star with the Stars, and he really stood out to me because I don't watch those shows very often, but when I knew he was going to be on it, there was something about it I wanted to watch.
yeah.
And he didn't disappoint in any way. He was amazing.
Mm.
Everything he did was wonderful. So, wow. Well, is there
Very,
anything else you want to talk about here today?
well, I was just going to say, very heart-centered people. You
Yeah,
know,
very
so
much so. Yeah.
feels very appropriate when we're talking heart and soul connected here. So
Yeah,
people that really put heart into their life.
into their life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robert put his heart into the dancing, and apparently he is now the MC for a new Dancing with the Stars series on how to become a dancer for the series.
Wow.
And yeah. So he's got himself and he's so good at it. He should be a dance. I mean, there's some people that should be dancers. That's how good they are. They really are. But and I think Bindi won the year she was in the Dancing with the Stars. So
Yeah.
the family is all, yeah,
Fearless.
yeah, they are fearless. You just saw him on the news with Prince William. That makes sense. Yeah, that
That
really does.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So yes, I don't know why. I guess he was just tapping on my shoulder the other day when I was asking who we should do. And again, I didn't watch him all the time, but I remember how much joy he brought to my uh, children at the time. And I think my daughter was in her 20s too, but my son would be watching it. He was 7 years younger, and so my daughter would come in and see him watching it. And there was just something about it that was it was a delightful feeling. But I can understand that there are circumstances when you live in a country where there are people that not too interesting maybe, and then later become, you know, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, different things. I mean, I think at the time he was like an ambassador for Australia, and
Oh, he was.
quite commercial, you know,
Mhm.
where you feel like when
Sure.
you travel into the world, your reputation has already arrived by whoever is the flavor of, you know, the
That's
moment.
true. Yeah.
So anyone who met me just wanted to talk about like the scary spiders and everything. And I'm like, well, you have grizzly bears. What are you talking about? But
That's so funny. But, you know, I remember everybody getting very upset because he had Bob as a baby, and he was doing this little thing with Bob right near a crocodile. And I mean, it would have been an awful tragedy if things changed. You know, if I was Terry, I would be mortified that my husband would be doing that. But I think I don't think there was any malicious intention with it. I think it was just he had a sort of innocence, maybe, um,
very
in a
plain,
way. Yeah.
genuine, and he felt very, I know in that moment he felt very in command of his own
Uh-huh.
energy and very in tune with the crocodiles and,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Mhm. And he had a lot of joy. You're right, Pauline. He did. He had a lot of he just would make everybody smile
yeah,
when he talked and laughed and stuff.
infectious, totally contagious. Yeah,
Definitely.
so
Yeah.
pure positive
Uh-huh.
energy. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I remember hearing when he passed, and I just thought to myself, it made sense that because the reason I say it made sense is because the two lion tamers that used to be entertainers in Las Vegas, they one of them got hurt. I mauled by oh, no, it was a tiger. I'm sorry, by the tiger,
Mm,
and yeah, I mean he lived, but danger, danger, you know, because they're wild animals.
yeah.
You can't predict what they're going to do. But at the same time, I thought to myself, oh, this is just going to be so difficult for those in his family and how they can continue knowing he died such a tragic death. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, he did, Anna. He did know what he was doing. We didn't know what he was doing. But yeah, yeah. There's a lot of judgment around how people can be in their element. And we think that some things are more dangerous. But really, quite honestly, I had no idea that crocodiles and alligators can run up to like 45 miles an hour or something.
And they can live up to like 250 years.
Yeah. That's like that huge tortoise that's still alive that was like born when George Washington was president or something. Yeah, it
Yeah.
blows your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
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 Just to be respected for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. That's right. Tawny, I'm glad you came in today, Tawny. He was a wonderful man, and I love how he looked after the animals and was passionate about our land over here. And that's why the Aboriginals love him. That's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what I want to say is that her paintings take about this period of about 15 to 25, 30 minutes at the most. And I want people to, we're going to try to do this with some other folks and make it maybe a monthly series. And
Yeah.
so if you've got a suggestion for people that you'd like, they can be alive or dead.
That's right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I would really love to hear it. So if you can, go over to Elspeth's channel, make sure you subscribe and you'll get the notices because she comes on and she's going to just spend some time painting and you can watch her. It just morphs into this beautiful piece of art. But if you have someone that you would like us to analyze, I guess, or look into, we would love that. We would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In the meantime, oh, Michelle. Okay, I'll write that down. Selena. Okay. All right. Yeah. Send me an email, everybody, if you come up with somebody that you want to see or hear about, because we would love to do this for you. So, yeah. Oh, yesterday, Diana said she watched and it was a fabulous child of a friend.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All
So
right.
the
Ooh.
sketch take about 20 minutes, and then I have other paintings that take a couple of weeks, couple of months.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the bigger one. She has one on her wall that's huge that she's done.
Yeah.
It looks like a picture that has been blown up. It does. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's just lovely.
I want it to look like a window. Like you can
It does. Is that the one with the orange? With the orange? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
With the orange float. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anna Heaton, you and I must have our mind on the same person because Freddie Mercury was someone I wanted her to do. So we'll put that on the list. And David Bowie is another good one.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Good one.
We like the musicians. Yeah, we really do. So thank you, Elspeth.
Aww.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah, and we'll see you another time, everybody. Thank you for joining us and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye, everyone.